Start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna-pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं भङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दं माधवम्। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we are studying from the Brahma-saṁhitā. So let me share my screen. So last time we read up to verse 12. So we have seen until now the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan, Goloka Dham, then Shvetadvipa and other descriptions, the detailed descriptions of the spiritual realm, including the Vaikuntha planets. And then we also, in last few weeks, we read about the Viraja river, Karana ocean, and the material creation, how Viraja river is separating the Paravyoma and Avyoma, the spiritual sky and the material creation. And then we also learned about Shambhu, who is the masculine halo, and the Maya is the generative. Shambhu is the generative principle of who is also incarnation or the devotee of Lord, and how Mahā-Viṣṇu has entered in here for creation, and that same Mahā-Viṣṇu is also known as Narayana in this mundane world, and he is in that causal ocean which is created by the Viraja river in the Yoga Nidra. So today we are going to read from text 13. tad-roma-bila jāleṣu bījaṁ saṅkarṣaṇasya ca haimāny aṇḍāni jātāni mahā-bhūtāvṛtāni ca tu. So tad, here tad refers to thank you, Mataji. So here tad is referring to the Mahā-Viṣṇu, what we read in the previous verses, Mahā-Viṣṇu. So tad-roma-bila jāleṣu. So pores of his skin around his hairs, the roma-bila. So the holes are called roma-bila, and jāleṣu is network all around his body, the spiritual body. There's the holes or the pores of the skin. Bījaṁ saṅkarṣaṇasya. Bījaṁ or the seeds of whom? Saṅkarṣaṇa, who is the origin of this creation. So his bījaṁ in the spiritual bījaṁ, they are, what form are they? Haimāny aṇḍāni. So they are golden eggs or sperms. So haimāny means golden, and aṇḍāni is egg-like shape or the sperms. Jātāni, they are born from the pores of this Mahā-Viṣṇu, who is in the Yoga Nidra in the Karana ocean, and they are āvrutani with mahā-bhūta. So they are covered by pancha mahā-bhūtas, or the five great elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. So that's the description here. The spiritual seed of Saṅkarṣaṇa, existing in the pores of the skin of Mahā-Viṣṇu, are born as so many golden sperms or eggs. These sperms are covered with five great elements. So when they are born, they are covered with when they come in Maya, or the space created by Maya, the material energy, Prakriti, they are covered with the five great elements. And the description here is, now that Mahā-Viṣṇu is the prime divine avatar is mentioned as the prime incarnation, the first Purusha incarnation, is engaged in such a great affair that from that his pores of the divine form spring myriads of infinite, unlimited seeds of universes. They come. And these series of universes are nothing but the perverted reflection of the infinite transcendental region that we have read or saw in the first few verses of Brahma-saṁhitā, the description of the Paravyoma or the spiritual sky, which is made up of Goloka, Vrindavan, Shvetadvipa, Vaikuntha planets, and all those descriptions what we read. So these universes are nothing but the perverted reflections of that infinite spiritual or transcendental region. As long as they remain embedded in his divine, in the divine embody of the principal spiritual, they have a form of golden egg. So as long as they are in the spirit, in the body of the, in the dormant state of Mahā-Viṣṇu, they are spiritual form. But nevertheless, by the creative desire when Mahā-Viṣṇu, of Mahā-Viṣṇu, these particles of great element which constitute the mundane, efficient, and material causal principle envelop them when they are created. So the mundane, efficient, and causal principles we saw in the form of Shambhu and the material energy. So they envelop them, the five material great elements, they cover them, these eggs. When those golden sperms coming out of the exhalation of Mahā-Viṣṇu, they enter into the unlimited accommodating space or chamber of the limited potency, that is Maya. So the Prakriti is, they enter in Prakriti or then come in contact with Maya, and then they enter in that this space created by Maya, and they become enlarged by non-conglomerate great elements. The conglomerate means something that is subdivision of the spiritual or origin, the supreme. But non-conglomerate is they come in contact with the great material elements. They are not spiritual. They are not part of the material creation. So they come in the this contact with the material nature, and they are so they enter into that unlimited accommodating space created by Maya or in the material nature. So now these descriptions of the universe are in many places. There are a couple of verses that mentioned from Srimad Bhagavatam that Jiva Goswami also mentions in his commentary. So the gist of this verse is basically there are unlimited universes in the form of golden eggs. They come from the pores of Mahā-Viṣṇu. And then in the Brahmaji's prayers in the 14th chapter we read, when he is offering prayers to the Lord, he asks for forgiveness from the Lord that what blunder he has done by tasting the Lord when he steals in the Brahma Vimohan Leela. So he asks for forgiveness that I was blinded, my eyes are blinded by the darkness of ignorance, which caused me think of myself as unborn creator of this universe. But please consider that I am your servant and therefore worthy of your compassion. And then he describes in the 11th verse here, he first says that how small, how insignificant he is in front of Lord, and then he glorifies how great the Lord is and from whom these all material universes come. So where he says, Kwaham, who am I? What am I? A small creature measuring 7 spans of my own hand. I am enclosed in this pot-like universe. So this universe, he understands that he is only a part of this small universe, which is composed of material nature. That is the total material energy, false ego, air, water, earth, etc. And then he describes about his insignificance, and then he glorifies the Lord. And what is your glory? Unlimited universes pass through the pores of your body as particles of dust. pass through the opening of screen window. So that's how he realizes that I was trying to test my Supreme Lord, and then he glorifies him that there are unlimited universes come through the pores of your body. So this is the same description what we read in today's verse. And the other verse that Shiva Goswami also quotes is from when in the third canto, 11th chapter, which is the description of time from the atomic time to the universal time. He gives the description, and towards the end of the description, then Maitreya Muni, when he is explaining this to Vidura, he describes the description of the greatness of just one universe, how big the universe is and how great it is. So that in last few verses he mentions about in that chapter is first he describes that how eternal time is. The whole chapter describes from very minute atomic time to the whole life of Brahma. And then he describes that this eternal time is certainly controller of all the dimensions, and it controls the whole universe from the atom up to the super divisions of the duration of Brahma's life. But that same time is controlled by the Supreme Lord. And again, he described that time can control only those who are body conscious, even up to Satyaloka. So all the 14 planetary systems, even up to the topmost Satyaloka or the Brahmaloka, everything time controls. And then he describes here about the universe here. So this phenomenal material world is expanded to the diameter of 4 billion miles as a combination of 8 material elements transformed into 16 further categories within and without as follows. So this is the description of the single universe that we are seeing that comes out of the pores of Brahma, the egg-like shaped universe. And what is the description of here? The each layer, so now it is covered by multiple layers. So the layer or the elements covering the universe are each 10 times thicker than the one before. Dashottara adhika adhikair yatra. So each layer is 10 times bigger than the previous layer. And all the universes clustered together appear like atoms in a huge combination. So there are unlimited universes like this, and all these universes are clustered like small atoms in a bag. And this is also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also it is mentioned that all these universes are like mustard seed in a huge bag. So that are the universes what we see are mentioned in this verse here, in the 13th verse of Brahma-saṁhitā, that come out of the pores of Mahā-Viṣṇu. So the next verse, it says about how he himself enters in each and every universe. Praty-aṇḍam evam ekāṁśād, ekāṁśād viśati svayam, sahasra-mūrdhā viśvātmā, mahā-viṣṇu sanātanaḥ. So praty-aṇḍam, in each and every egg-shaped universe, evam, thus ekāṁśād, just like his small separate amshas or subjective portions, he enters. Viśati svayam, he himself enters in each and every universe that comes out of his pore. And that is nothing but the second Purusha incarnation, or what we call as Garbhodakashayi Viṣṇu. And that description from him also comes sahasra-mūrdhā viśvātmā. He is also the super soul which has thousands and thousands of heads. And he is the same as mahā-viṣṇu sanātanaḥ. So there is no difference between him and Mahā-Viṣṇu. They are, as we all, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, achinta bheda bhed. So he is the same at the same as different. So he is the same tatvata as Mahā-Viṣṇu. He is same as Mahā-Viṣṇu. He himself enters, but he is also a separate entity in there. And he is eternal. So the same Mahā-Viṣṇu entered into each universe as his own separate subjective portion. The divine portions that entered into each universe are possessed of his majestic extension, that is, they are eternal, universal soul Mahā-Viṣṇu possessing thousands and thousands of heads. So the description is given here. The same Mahā-Viṣṇu enters and he has thousands of heads. And he is also viśvātmā. He is the super soul of that universe. So that Mahā-Viṣṇu lying in the spiritual ocean is the subjective portion of Mahā-saṅkarṣaṇa. So Mahā-Viṣṇu is the amsha or portion of Saṅkarṣaṇa, and his amsha, he entered as his own subjective portion into those universes. So Mahā-Viṣṇu's amsha is Viṣṇu, which enters in each and every individual universe. These individual portions are all representative of second divine Purusha, the second Purusha incarnation lying in the ocean of conception of the identical and is identical with the Mahā-Viṣṇu in every respect. He is also spoken as divine guide from within all the souls. So he eventually, we'll read in the next verse, he eventually expands into three gunas, three guna-avataras, in which again he expands into another Viṣṇu form, that is the third in Purusha incarnation, which is the soul of all the living entities, which expands in as a super soul in all living entities and enters in every atom of the universe. So that same Mahā-Viṣṇu is expanded first as Viṣṇu, and then he is created as third Purusha avatara as Viṣṇu. So in the next verse, it is basically the second Viṣṇu that enters, and it is lying on the water, that is each and every universe is half filled by the water that comes from the Mahā-Viṣṇu himself, and then he is lying on the Anantashesh or the bed of Anantashesh on that on that water, which is Garbhodaka ocean. And in the next verse, now from that Viṣṇu, he creates three guna avatars, the three persons who maintain, so who are the creation, maintenance and annihilation part of this universe. Vāmāṅgād asṛjad viśṇuṁ, dakṣiṇāṅgāt prajāpatim, jyotir-liṅga-mayaṁ śambhuṁ, kūrca-deśād avāsṛjat. So Vāmāṅgād from his left limb. So his left limb is considered to be the spiritual side, his spiritual side. So from his left side, asṛjad, he created Viṣṇu. Then dakṣiṇāṅgāt, from his right side, he created Prajapati or Brahma. Now this Prajapati, we'll read more descriptive. He is also called Hiranyagarbha, which is the, again, Viṣṇu Tattva, but he is the original potency that empowers the four-headed Brahma for creation. And jyotir-liṅga-mayaṁ śambhuṁ. And again, we saw the jyotir-liṅga-maya Shambhu in outside the universes, all the universes between the spiritual realm and the material world. So his amsha is created another Shambhu here in each and every universe, which is also called jyotir-liṅga-mayaṁ. He is the creation, who is the original jyotirlinga of all, or the masculine feature for creation of all the living entities. And he is created from kūrca-deśād. So from between the space of his two eyebrows. So that's where Shambhu is created. So the same Mahā-Viṣṇu created Viṣṇu from his left limb, Brahma, the first Prajapati or progenitor of beings, from his right limb, and from the space between his two eyebrows, he created Shambhu, which is jyotir-liṅga-mayaṁ, the divine masculine manifested hollow. So this is the amsha of the original masculine hollow, that is the Shambhu, that is between this realm of material and spiritual. worlds. So that divine Purusha lying on the ocean of milk is the same who is the regulator of individual souls. So this Kshirodakshai Vishnu, the third Purusha incarnation, Kshira means milk and ocean. So he is lying in the ocean of milk, who is the regulator of all the individual souls in this universe. And Hiranyagarbha, the seminal principle, the procreational principle, is also the portion of Supreme Soul, is the prime progenitor who is different from the four-faced Brahmas. The four-faced Brahmas get the potency of creation from this Hiranyagarbha, who is the expansion of Vishnu. And the same Hiranyagarbha is the principle of seminal creation energy of every Brahma in each and every universe. So this is said, just like the same Paramatma is expanded in all living entities, who seems to be different, but he is one and the same person. In the same manner, the same Hiranyagarbha, who is expanded in all universes, is the creation, the creative principle of all the Brahmas in all different universes, belonging to each and infinity of universes. And the divine masculine halo or Shambhu is the plenary manifestation of his prototype Shambhu, the same primary divine masculine generative symbol Shambhu, whose nature has already been described. So we already saw the original Shambhu that was created by between the spiritual realm and the material world. So the Shambhu here is the prototype or the Amsha of that Shambhu. And Vishnu is the integral subjective portion of Mahā-Viṣṇu. Hence, he is the great Lord of all other lords. So Vishnu is the Lord, Supreme Lord. He is Vishnu Tattva, but he is Lord of also Brahma and Shambhu. So Brahma and Shambhu are not at the same level as that of Vishnu. They are subordinate to him, and they are described here. The progenitor Brahma and Shambhu are dislocated portions. They are not at the same level. They are inferior. They are inferior to him, and they derive all potencies from Vishnu. But Shambhu Tattva is considered to be in between the Jiva Tattva and Vishnu Tattva, while Brahma is at the Jiva Tattva. Hence they are gods with delegated functions. So Shambhu and Brahma are not the same supreme lords, but they are gods with delegated functions. So they are empowered by Vishnu for their functions, what they perform in this material world. And here it is described that Vishnu appears from the left limb of Mahā-Viṣṇu, who is Godhead himself, because and is the essence of the Chit potency of the Lord. And he is also the super soul or the inner guiding oversoul of every living entity, every living soul. And he is also, we read in the third canto, his measure as a thumb. This portion, I don't remember the verse, but in the third canto, it is mentioned that he measures the thumb in each and every living entity's heart, and he is the nourisher. And also the karmis or the yogis, they also worship him. Now the karmis worship him in the form of Narayan because they are desirous of the material, mundane desires. And then the yogis, they desire to merge in him and they identify him as Paramatma. And that is the same Lord as Narayan or Paramatma is expanded everywhere. So that is the description of the three deities who are created from the Mahā-Viṣṇu. Brahmaji from his right limb, Vishnu from his left limb, and Shambhu from the space of his between his two eyebrows. And Vishnu is the all-pervasive super soul, that is the super soul of the universe as well as all the living entities. So that's where I will stop today. It's almost 27. So we have few minutes. We can take some reflections, or if there are any questions, and we can discuss those. So thank you so much. Thank you very much, Shankaran Prabhuji. If you want to add anything, Hare Krishna.
So I don't know if I heard wrongly or you had any references. You said Shambhu also is sometime and the is also sometime a jiva.
No, I said Shambhu is the tattva that is between Jiva and Vishnu tattva.
Okay. Sorry, then I think I.
No, I said Shambhu tattva is between. It is not as at the level of Vishnu tattva, but it is higher than Jiva tattva.
Thank you, bro. Thanks for.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, bro, for nice transition. So we are almost finished. I think we are maybe you're taking one verse every week, or how are you going?
No, multiple verses. As much as today I covered 3 verses. In the beginning, I was covering only 1 verse because there was a lot of description there. But these are mostly related to each other. So I'm taking 2, 3, or 4. No fixed order. So today we covered 3 verses, Prabhu. Basically, the creation of each universe, then how Mahā-Viṣṇu enters in each and individual universe, and then how he created Brahma, Viṣṇu, and Śambhuṁ from his different limbs for maintenance of this universe.
Okay. Are we already on the 15th?
So we finished 15th verse today. So next week we'll discuss about how ahankara is the egoistic principle, that is Śambhuṁ, and his relationship with all the jivas.
Not from 29th verse, right?
The prayer starts from 29th verse, 28 or 29th. Yeah. So then we get into the familiar verses of Brahma-saṁhitā recitation.
Okay. Yeah, wonderful, bro. Very nice.
Thank you so much, Prabhujis and Matajis.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for all those details that you are explaining. It's really hard to understand by our own reading, but you are making it very nice and easy for us to understand, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So if not any other reflections, or we can stop here today.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.